Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of this year's Knowledge Graph Technology Showcase. I do one of these every year, link down below if you want to see all the other tools that I've reviewed throughout the years. And I do this completely free. I don't get any kickbacks or promotionals or nothing from doing this. I reach out to these vendors and ask them to walk me through a demo, and I will ask questions as we go on your behalf. And I put all of my notes at the very end, so make sure you go and check those out if you are interested in my take about what I thought was very interesting about these tools. And the tool that we are going to be talking about today is that one. All right, and with that, let's go get started.
So my name is Mathieu Bezzosi. I'm French, and I am based in the US. I'm actually the country manager for the US and Canada for Linkurious. So we do graph visualization, but we do so much more. It's really the go-to tool for analytics in graph.
Nice.
I'm now in an empty visualization, and here you can see we have a search bar. Okay, so in this search bar, we've indexed actually the data set, so it's pretty easy to just write a string and to get suggestion of results. So for instance, if I want to look for a person called River Wisdom, I just type the letters and there are suggestions coming in. And I just have to click, and then I'm starting to visualize my graph. So here we see a node, it's a person, okay? You see the category here, person. And here you have the different properties that are related to this node. So you can see some informations coming from different data sources. And you can also have access to some of the properties that have been created by algorithm. So here, for instance, we have a scoring. We have a property score that gives us a score that might have been calculated by the graph algorithm or might have been calculated, downstream by another tool. And here we can see number 6, meaning there are 6 entities connected to this person. And if I click right, I can see the different entities, okay, different categories of entities. So we have an address, bank account, and whatsoever. I can expand just one of them. So here I can see the address specifically, or I can just double click and expand everything, which is fine here because we just have 6 entities, but sometimes you have
more
1,000 entities.
Yeah.
So as you see here, one of the first way to start the exploration is to leverage this search bar, and look for a specific node. Today, we see a lot of users who are actually looking for large populations of data, and then they want to drill down. So we've focused really recently on the ability to display large graphs on the application.
Nice. And how does it? Yeah, I want to see that because normally, again, I don't want to say normally. I've actually seen a lot of progression. Is it a hairball or is it nicer than that?
You tell me. So what I can do here is I can, just run a query. So again, we have this ability to build, those queries that are recorded and that a business user can leverage. So and sometimes can be very complex queries. Something that I love is that we have this tool allowing us to build forms. Okay, so we can click on a button, generate a form in which we input parameters, and that will run the query with those parameters included.
And those forms would be set up by admin or somebody that's controlling the backend.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So here you can see different queries. So those are the queries available for my focus, my scope. Okay, because I've selected this node, I can see all the queries that are available for this node. If I select another scope, you will see that the list of queries available is different. Okay, and here I will run a query that will display a large number of nodes. So here I have this query called risky client that I love. If I click on it, you see that there is this form that is generated automatically by the tool, okay? And here I can input some parameters. So risk score threshold, so let's take 0.8, max number of results, and then here we will, put a large number to see a lot of nodes.
I'm glad you have this this stopgap because sometimes when you have especially business folks, they're very curious, which is great, and then they'll start just running a bunch of queries, which again is not a bad thing in and of itself, but then if they are running queries that first, queries do cost money, and second,
yeah, that's true.
You want to make sure that you don't accidentally click on something and run a query that's going to take hours to complete. Again, I'm hoping that's not going to happen here. But there's always that possibility. So I do love that you have a stopgap here to say, like, hold up, what do you actually want here?
Yeah, I agree. I will show you something after that. But here, here in this form, if I type, for instance, string, with letters, I've also added a control on the.
It says some data governance. Nice.
On the format, yeah. So here, let's say 1,000. Okay, 1,000 is not too bad. And if I click on run, then we generate the visualization. And as you can see, it's pretty quick, pretty fast to generate. So yeah, I told you this is another way to start the exploration, just basically by running a query and see a community of nodes, or see a large population, and then we drill down. So here you can see a larger graph, okay, in which you have bank accounts and transactions. And what I want to show you is features that are used here for filtering and customization. So here, for instance, we have we can customize the look and feel of each node. So, for instance, here, given a specific category, I can change the icon, the color, or even the size. Here you see on the bank account, where is the bank account here? You have different sizes, and those sizes have been generated dynamically given the balance of the bank account. So here we can see in just 1 millisecond that the bank account, the balance of this bank account is larger than this one or this one. And in order to do that, you see here there is the dynamic node sizing.
Nice.
And here it's a logarithmic rule, and it's just on the property amount. Okay, very easy to do this kind of stuff and to have visually the big picture.
Yeah,
you can do, of course, the same on the edges.
Nice.
So you see here the dynamic sizing is also available.
So you can zero in on the data that you want to call attention to because of the visual cues. That's nice.
Exactly.
Is this only read, or can you also write? Meaning, like, you're in here and you're like, wait a minute, those two bank accounts, that's going to the wrong person, and then you can correct it, or is that not possible?
Yeah, so you can do that on the fly while you're exploring. So if you change the value, then the setting, the styling will change. So for example, here you have this guy, River Wisdom, and let's say I want to flag him as suspicious. And I have a rule saying that if I have a node type person tagged as suspicious, then the styling will be different. So here I click right, I have access to my queries, and I have tag suspicious in comment. Here I'm commenting, this guy is suspect, and I run it, and here you will see that the styling has changed. So now. It's not a blue node, it's a red node, and there is an exclamation point.
Now, can you then write that back to your graph database so that that's tagged there?
Yeah. As you can see here, awesome. We have written a new property. We have created a new property, node suspicious, and we have also updated the property suspicious as true. So it's pretty easy to actually write the graph. And here we provide a way to write the graph, securely. We don't have time to go through all of them. We have, for instance, here the timeline that you can use
Oh,
as long as
nice.
you have date time, data. So here I can filter out the transactions that are done um, outside a specific time range. So you see here the filtered out become grayish, and you have this focus on the time frame that you are looking at. We do a lot of. We also have geographical mode. So if you have a
Oh,
node,
cool.
if you have a graph that you want to display on top of a map, this is pretty easy to do. We have something that I like a lot at the moment is let me show you the we'll expand so that I can see more people. So here we have different people belonging to the same community. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and here I have a filtering, a clustering option. So I
Mm-hmm.
can group nodes by specific rules. So here I want to group all the people by community. And here you see it creates a new node in which we have sub nodes that are actually the persons. Okay. And they are gathered, grouped by a specific rule. So here they all belong to the same uh, uh, community that has been calculated by GDS here.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, we've been able to group all these people into one single node, and we can see the big picture of this community. So what are here the PIIs that are related to this community of persons?
Way to export the visuals as well, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
first of all, we need to save the visualization. So here we have the comment panel that I want to use to save my visualization. So
Oh, yeah, you said collaboration too. Let's make sure we go to
yeah.
that.
So here I'm saving this visualization, and I have access to the comment section.
Mm-hmm.
So here I can, for instance, leave the conclusions of my investigation. So all these guys belong to the same community, whatever, exclamation point. And I want maybe to share this visualization with somebody from my team. One of the easiest way is just to tag people. So
Mm-hmm.
here, for instance, I have my dear colleague Edouard, if you watch us, and here I can, tag him, please check, um, and then, Edouard, get access, get a notification, get an email, get access to the visualization. And if I want to see an aggregated view of those properties, it's pretty easy. I just,
Ah, okay. Nice.
expand
Okay.
the properties, and here you can see as a table. And of course, if I want to export it, I have this magic button
Mhm.
here where I can actually export it into
Nice.
various formats. But I can also just export, this part of the visualization, this section of the visualization by using the image export option.
Mm-hmm.
So here, and I love the way we do the export today. It's pretty recent. So here you can adjust, different settings. So if you want,
Oh, I like that.
I know you would like it. Uh, and you can also change the format, which is very important sometimes. So
Yeah.
here, for instance, I want to focus specifically on, a part of the graph. So I am able to zoom in to just focus on what I want to export.
Mm-hmm.
I can even add some comment or annotation. So here, look at this, for instance, here add an arrow. Okay.
I really do like that because it kind of cuts out some of the other tools that you would have to, I mean, wherever you're going to put this image, Word or PowerPoint or whatever, Google Docs or what you're
or
using.
on an email. Yeah.
Yeah, or an email, sometimes you just have to pop it into one of those other tools just to do what you just did. And it's fine. It's so fast to do, but doing it right here, I like that because that cuts out using all those other things.
The thing is, exporting a visualization is great, but sometimes you need also to explain what
Yes.
is your
And I did,
understanding of this graph.
one of the formats you can export, it allows you to play around with the visual itself, I thought.
Oh yeah, I will show you that. So here, for instance, I'm downloading it as a PDF. Okay,
Hmm.
now it's downloaded, and I will share it with you by email. So if I want to build, a dynamic visualization that I want to share, the subgraph that is here um, um, as a dynamic visualization
Hmm.
that I will be able to frame into an application, for instance. Let me just select this subgraph. Okay. And yeah, you know what? I will just focus on the transactions on this big spaghetti of data because it's fun.
And to be fair,
Um,
you made the spaghetti look pretty, at least, not just a giant hairball.
Thank you. So I can also publish this visualization. So here you can see the visualization. I can, select different features I want to put
I
in my
like that you
widget.
have a password option here. I
Yeah.
really appreciate that.
Like that, and then I just click on publish. It generates this URL that I can now, put in an email or just send on Slack or
Hmm. Hmm.
I can also frame it into a website that is publicly accessible to anyone. If you go
Nice.
to the ICIG website, you have access to those widgets framed into their web page, and you have millions of people using it. And this is basically what you get. Okay. And so here you have a minimized version of Linkurious where you only have access to this
Hmm.
subgraph. You have access to the properties. You can zoom in, zoom out, and you can also search into the subgraph. So here, if I want to search for a specific node, okay, I have access to it. I also have a legend here that explains what is it in this
Hmm.
visualization and this kind of tool. So it's very useful, especially if tomorrow you want, I don't know, to share in an intranet visualization with 5,000 people in your company. So you just generate this widget and you frame it into your intranet, and even you can generate those widgets on the fly using the REST API, so you don't need to have a human being
Yep.
creating widgets and framing it into an
Nice.
intranet. So basically, here we've been exploring, filtering, collaborating, sharing on this on visualization. Now I want to direct specific pattern, okay, and I want to have access to a workflow so that I'm able to work on it. So here we've created some alerts, okay, like for instance, synthetic identity. Here, if I edit it, you can see that this is actually a model, a pattern that we defined called synthetic identity that is actually behind its Cipher query. Okay, and from this Cipher query, we actually scan the data set regularly. Here
Hmm.
it's every week, but you can change, the frequency. And we have some secret sauce that's called the target to where you to avoid duplicates on cases.
Mm-hmm.
So once you've set up this alert, the users are able to actually access the cases, so the match that have been, identified by Linkurious Enterprise, and and from the cases, so you have access to the visualization of the case. You can see the different.
Oh, so it's almost like you can, so it's an alert, but also you can use it as, an assignment tool as well. So, hey, expert in this
Exactly,
fraud detection thing, go and please look at this. There is stuff going on.
exactly. And here, for instance, I can assign one of my colleague, David. Um,
Your poor colleagues probably get so many random emails.
yeah, I know they hate that. But I believe they created a rule on their email box, so it just go directly to the
Oh,
trash.
smart. Smart.
That's yeah. So you can change the status. You can assign the case to a person, and you can, of course, you have access to all the exploration features that we saw earlier.
Mhm.
And exporting and all the stuff. Um, but also, what I love is that you can create these dashboard in which you want to see, okay, what are the cases that have been assigned to me? I've done a good job, so I have none. But so here, so for instance, I can look at David's dashboard, and I can see that he has one uh, um, case to review. He's been assigned to this case, and if I click here, I can see that this is yeah, I can see the history of this case. So it's case that is open, David. I see the number, the reference, the idea of the case, and I see that, yeah, David has been assigned on October 14, 2024 by Nels.
Mhm.
So,
Nice. And I mean, obviously there's so many things in banking and insurance and cybersecurity where flows like this are incredibly important. But even on, if you're doing something with, uh, you know, supply chain or product development or things like that, understanding where things are getting hung up um, in a very complex system would be really helpful.